Hey, I've been unmuted. What's up, guys? It's the sports show with no name. I swear to you, I had to look at the corner of my screen to remember the name of the show. It's been so long since we've done it. Um, it's been a few weeks. We were on a family vacation. Went to Virginia Beach a couple weeks ago. Still trying to recover from that. So we're just getting back into the swing of things. So if we make mistakes today, first of all, that's normal. We make a lot of mistakes normally. And second, please forgive us because we know not what we do. Anyway, I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. I've got Ben Bales with me as always. Ben, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much.
How have you been, man? How's your July been?
Been long, but
Yeah.
hanging in there.
It's hot. It's been really hot.
It's hot.
It's off and on. It's kind of like it was cool when we got back from Virginia Beach. It felt really cold to me, but it warmed back up immediately. So no worries. The heat and humidity are back. And so is the baseball trade deadline. We've got that is Thursday at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
It's
Thursday.
the last day for teams to make trades without guys having to clear waivers and all the weird stuff that has to happen when you get traded after July 31st. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about the trade deadline. We'll talk about maybe who might be buyers, who might be sellers, who might be kind of like in the middle, stuck. There's a lot of teams stuck with all the extra wild card spots. I think it's harder to decide this early on in the season. I mean, it's not early. It's not super early, but it's early enough that it makes it difficult to decide. We talked about it last year, like what exactly you're going to do. Like, are you a buyer? Are you a seller? Do you stand pat? Do you retool for next year? Do you tear it down and rebuild? Do you go all in? I think it's a tougher decision now than it used to be with the wild card spots, but it's fun. It makes it fun. And then we'll talk about, we'll get into, I guess our headlines we'll just talk about the All-Star game. Not a whole lot to really talk about. We saw Cal Raleigh, big dumper. The big dumper won the home run derby,
What a
right?
name. What a nickname.
Great nickname. There's a lot of great nicknames in baseball right now. We'll get to another one in a minute here. But yeah, I don't know. So regulation, right? At the end of 9 innings, the game was tied 6-6, and it was settled on a swing off. And I think Ben and I are a little bit at odds. Like, I understand kind of what they're doing with the swing off and what they're, what the point of it is, I guess. I don't love it. I don't know. It seems weird to decide a baseball game with something that's so decidedly not baseball, right? Like you decide a 9-inning baseball game with batting practice. That feels weird. And the home run derby was just the other, like, that's already happened. So we're like revisiting that. That's weird to me. Maybe it should be like a skills competition, right? Like the outfield throw. Like put the trash can on the plate and, like, I don't know, give all the outfielders like 5 throws, and whoever makes the most into the trash can wins the All-Star game.
Or what if you just did like, or what if you kind of did like the Texas shootout rule where it's like a runner starts on second, it's a 3-2 count.
Okay.
Like
one pitch. Okay. Like one pitch. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
I gotcha. All right. That'd be kind of fun. Way to save the bullpen. I don't want to say that I don't know if I suggested but it was kind of a joke. Like, they have like 3 AAA guys on each side, like 3 starters, right? Just so you don't run the bullpen into the ground. They could go limitless, but then people don't want to watch a bunch of scoreless extra innings in the All-Star game either, right?
Or you put in a position player that has to pitch.
Okay, there you go. Well, so Kike Hernandez is there. That's not fair for the Dodgers. He's actually been doing pretty well on the mound. What a weird season it's been. It's been a weird season, especially if you're a Braves fan. I mean, at least the Guardians have turned things around lately a little bit.
Yeah, we're just going to stay consistent, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. First of all, I'm going to talk about some crazy stuff. Like Rookie of the Year in the American League, everybody thought it was just, it's Jacob Wilson, right? I don't know that that's the case anymore. His teammate Nick Kurtz. Did you see what Nick Kurtz did Friday night in Houston? Unbelievable. I mean, listen, there's a case for this maybe being the best offensive game of all time. Kurtz went 6 for 6 with 4 home runs. He's the first A's player in history with 4 home runs in a game. First rookie in Major League history with 4 home runs in a game. That's something. He almost hit 5. He missed hitting a 5th home run by about maybe a foot and a half. 3 of his 4 home runs were opposite field, and if the other one would have gotten out, it would have been 4 out of 5 home runs of the opposite field. All of a sudden, the A's have like a nice little core, and I think Nick Kurtz kind of solidified himself as the AL Rookie of the Year. Do you think that's realistic or no?
I think it's still between both of those guys. I don't really think there's another. I don't really think anybody else is in contention for it.
No, I mean, there's some guys that are on the fringe, but wow, I mean, Kurtz, I think that was his 13th game in a hitting streak where he was hitting over 500 for the whole thing. I'm not sure what he did, Saturday night. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the games last night. Prepared to do the show yesterday, so I apologize. Some of the numbers are going to be a day off as far as records and averages and things like that go. But Kurt's one of the all-time great nicknames, the Big Amish. But yeah, 6 for 6, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. What do you have, like 19 total bases?
Yeah, he tied the record for most total bases in the game.
I mean, did we just watch a rookie? I mean, the guy was just drafted in 2024. Did he just have the best offensive game of all time in Major League Baseball history?
Seems like it. He also missed. Did you see how close he was to hitting 5 home runs?
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, that's right. He missed it by 1.5 feet. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Crazy.
And like I said, 4 of the 5 home runs would have been opposite field. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's wild.
Baseball is different than it's ever been. Speaking of the rookie of the year, I don't know. I think is it Drake Baldwin in the National League? Braves catcher Drake Baldwin. I mean, I don't know.
Could be.
He's hitting 283 with 11 home runs, 41 RBIs. The Braves are just in the middle of a completely lost season. But Baldwin looks like a bright spot. I mean, they've got a couple young guys that are playing pretty well. Nacho Alvarez was playing pretty well for them too. Something I just told you about before the show, which is really it's upsetting if you're a Braves fan. The entire opening day starting rotation is now on the IL. Most of those guys, aren't going to be back until late next season at the very earliest. I don't know if we'll see Chris Sale again this year coming back from the broken rib. I have no idea. Grant Holmes just pitched against the Rangers Saturday night and immediately went on the IL with elbow tightness. That's usually not a good omen.
Yeah.
That usually means Tommy John surgery is coming up. So a possible torn UCL for him. I haven't seen any results of any MRIs or anything for him, but it's not good. I don't know if you remember that we did the preseason episode. I told you the pitching was going to be a problem for the Braves this year. Starting pitching was going to be a big, big problem, but I did not envision it being this bad to where they were out of contention by the end of July. The entire starting staff would be on the IL. I didn't see this coming. This is pretty bad.
No, I mean, speaking of injuries, I don't know if obviously, a lot of people that follow us are Cleveland fans, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Bieber last week made a rehab start down in Lake County.
Yeah.
Today he was supposed to make a rehab start in Columbus, but it got delayed. So I don't know if he still started.
Yeah.
Or what happened, but he's on his way to come back to the big league club. They're saying August. So
hey, it'll be a nice shot in the arm for this team if they can stay in contention. I mean, they're not that far out. Where are they right now in the wild card standings? The Guardians are only 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. So I mean, they've got a couple of teams in front of them. The Rangers are hot. They're playing the Braves. Anybody who plays the Braves is hot right now. That's going to be a given. But you got the Rays and the Rangers in front of them. Obviously the Red Sox, Mariners, and Yankees are a thing as well. But man, the Guardians have really turned it around. They're right there. I think they're still. Where are they at in the division?
As of today,
9 games out of the division. I'm sorry.
As of today, they're 7 games back.
7 games back. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, Tigers have lost 11 of their last 12.
Okay. Yeah, the Tigers they've gone ice cold.
I told people, I said it's like the exact same script as last year, just the teams are flipped.
Yeah.
Like the Guardians were really, really good at the deadline, and they struggled in the second half of the season. The Tigers came on hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like this year. The Tigers were really good in the first half of the season. Guardians struggled. Now it seems like the Guardians are starting to come out hot.
Well, and that's one thing that I said that was very wrong at the beginning of the year. I told you that I thought the Tigers would kind of regress back to the norm a little bit too. And now finally in July, that's happening. I don't know if it's too late for the Guardians or not, but we'll see if they can come back.
I mean, we played the Tigers 6 times in the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you can definitely make up some ground right there. The Braves aren't making up any ground. The Braves were, at least as they're 44-59 now. They lost again last night. They were losing today last I saw. So they're going to be 44-60. They're going to be 16 games under 500. They're definitely going to be sellers. We'll talk about that when we get to the trade deadline stuff. Again, not, the Braves aren't going to tear it down and completely rebuild and get rid of all the whole core and they're not going to do that. But, they're going to be looking to move. I would say at least probably Marcell Ozuna at the very least. A guy on an expiring contract who's just really having a rough year. The hip injury, just never really got it going. You can say that about a lot of guys. I don't know about the hip injury, but you can say a lot of guys in the lineup just never really got it going this year. Matt Olson's having a pretty good year. Acuna came back really hot. He's kind of cooled off a bit of late. Ozzy Albies hasn't really hit. Austin Riley hasn't hit consistently. I mean, they've been a mess. Sean Murphy started with the oblique injury, the rib and the oblique, whatever. I he's starting to hit a little better, but it's just too late. I don't know if do you think Murphy will get moved, by the way? Do you think that's a possibility with Drake Baldwin looking so good or no?
I think everyone would think it could be.
Yeah. It could.
And,
I mean, they could do anything.
If I was the Guardians, I'd reach out and be like, hey, what do you want for him?
Hey, why
Bo
not?
Naylor can't hit. And, I mean, even if
Josh Naylor's on the move, he went to Seattle. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude, even if the Guardians do trade for Sean Murphy, if Sean Murphy can hit 230, that's better than what Bo Naylor's hitting.
Yeah, and he's a really, really good defensive catcher. I mean, he handles the staff well. Murphy does. He contributes in other areas than just at the plate. He's a really good defensive catcher. But man, who would have thought the Brewers would have the best record in the National League at this time of year?
It's crazy.
Wild. As of Friday night, there was. What's that?
You said who would have thought the Brewers had the best record in the National League? Who would have thought the Blue Jays had the best record in baseball?
Yeah, this is craziness this year. Craziness. A couple of teams that I guess I didn't see it coming, man. I mean, the Brewers were, as of Friday night, they were 61-42. The Cubs just one game back of them in the Central. The poor small market Dodgers, man, they just, ragtag guys like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts. They're, Freddie Freeman. They're band-aiding the lineup together because they can't afford anybody. They're barely hanging on. They're just they're having trouble getting to the best record in the National League. But let's take a look at you want to start in the American League because right now, leading the divisions, like you said, the Blue Jays 62-42 as of Friday night. Like I said, these records are going to be like one day off, so I apologize for that. The Astros are 60-44; they lead the West, and the Tigers in the Central at 60-45. We talked about 7 games up on the Guardians, and then you've got the Yankees, Mariners, and Red Sox in the next 3. Well, in the top 3 wild card spots. Basically, you go all the way down, and I don't know if my cousin Nate is watching or not, but the Angels, I included them in the teams that have an outside shot to get into a wild card spot. I don't know that they can make up enough ground to be truly considered contenders for a wild card spot this year, but they're overachieving, right? They're hanging on. They're 4.5 games back. That's not bad.
No.
I feel like the Angels are like one good starter and a couple of bullpen guys away from being a pretty good team next year. No,
for sure. I agree.
I mean, the bullpen's so year to year anyway. You can have a really good bullpen one year, and then you can have what the Braves have this year.
Look at the Guardians this year. Yeah. Right? Like last year, you had the best bullpen in baseball. Yep. By far, it wasn't even close.
Yep.
And this year, now it's either every single pitcher is on their A game or the entire bullpen gets absolutely shelled.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the club. I understand how that feels as a Braves fan. And it's frustrating as a Guardians fan because these guys were young last year. You looked like, you always feel like, well, hey, now we've got something, right? Like we're going to build around this bullpen. But it's such a hard job. It's such a fickle thing, man, to be a reliever. And it's like if guys get a little bit out of sorts with their role or whatever it is, something happens and they just suddenly they can't throw strikes or they can't get guys out anymore. And it's like it's so hard to figure out the bullpen guys. And just as a group, you know what I mean? Like maybe not individually, but it's hard to put together like, okay, this is my 6th inning guy. This is my 7th inning guy. This is my 8th inning. This is my closer. Raisel Iglesias has been absolutely awful for the Braves. Not even really mentioned in any trade talks. Who wants him? Nobody wants him. They can't get anybody out. So I don't know. Nationally, you got the Brewers leading the Central, like we said. The Dodgers are the leaders in the West. They're up on the Padres, and the Mets are still, I think, just a couple games or so up on the Phillies. I really thought the Phillies were going to be better than the Mets. I'm surprised the Mets have held on this long. They haven't Metsed yet. There's still time for them to Met. What they do. They get close, and then they seem to have like a stretch where they lose like 15 out of 16, and something they finished 3rd in the division. But I don't know if that's going to happen to them this year. They've been pretty strong. The Soto signing looked like a big mistake a couple of months into the season, didn't it? But he's turning around. He's getting on base. He's Juan Soto. He's a good player.
Speaking of changes, did you see that Aaron Judge is now on the 10-day IL?
Yeah, I did. I don't think it's too serious, though. I don't think anybody's too concerned. They'll likely bring him back and probably just DH him, I guess, for the rest of the season, which probably helps his MVP.
Did you see who they're having try out in right field?
No.
Because they have no other outfielders, Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh, my gosh, man. Okay, well. They have the tallest guys in baseball right now. Who do you, by the way, AL MVP, do you think it's a race at all? Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh? I know Raleigh's getting a ton of press because of all the home runs, but
depends on how long Judge is out for. If he's out for a good amount of time, I think it's Cal Raleigh.
Okay.
if Judge isn't out for a long period of time, I think we'll legitimately have, like, this could be the first year we have like an actual MVP race and not just, somebody running away with it,
Okay.
from mid-June.
Okay. I feel like Judge was running away for a while. I mean, his numbers were unbelievable.
I mean,
but
he was.
Take a look at the guys. I want to take a look at the teams really quick that just have an outside shot, or at least, maybe more than an outside shot of getting in. Man, the Reds are 1 game back of a wild card. The Giants, the Cardinals are 1.5 games back. The Diamondbacks are 4. The Marlins are 5. I think I included the Marlins just to kind of like torture myself as a Braves fan because, like, wow. I mean, the Braves are just trying to stay out of the basement in the NL East at this point. It's pretty bad.
I mean, we know every single Terry Francona team gets hot right after the All-Star break, so keep an eye on those Reds.
Yeah, they're in a great position. To keep going for sure. Boy, the one thing that really surprised me, I guess, is just I don't know, like, what happened to the Braves? Why can they suddenly not hit? I mean, a couple of years ago, they very nearly set the all-time record for home runs in a season for a team. And how does your entire lineup do this? Like, how is it all or nothing for them? How does that happen?
I don't know if like they've made many like changes on the coaching staff, but a lot of time it all resolves on the hitting coach.
Yeah.
Like you look at like the Guardians got rid of like for the first couple of years, right? Like under Chris Valleca.
Yeah.
The Guardians hitting was really, really good. That small ball lineup, we're going to steal, 5-6 bags a game, and we're going to beat you with singles and doubles and running the bases. And then we got rid of him, and we started to hit for more power. Quan had a 2-homer game the other night. Hosey's Hosey. But it's just that
probably, I mean, just criminally underrated, really. I mean, a lot of people talk about him, and I think he gets some credit, here locally, regionally, whatever. I mean, he's a top 5 or 6 player in baseball, isn't he?
I would maybe even say like top 3.
I mean, he's an easy Hall of Famer, don't you think?
Yeah, he'll be a Hall of Famer no matter whether he wins a World Series or not.
Yeah, at a position where, by the way, third base is the least represented position in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's
tough position to play. So
it's just like I know people say, oh, why can't everybody be like Jose and take a hometown discount? It's a thing that Jose just wants to win for Cleveland because he's been here his whole career. And he's one of those guys that it's kind of like Santana, right? Like, yeah, Santana would have stayed here his whole career if we would have had the money, but at the same time, he wasn't as good as Hosey. If he was as good as Hosey, you probably lock up the corner of your infield for the next, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
When that first contract with Santana runs out, if he's putting up the same numbers that Hosey was, you have your first and third baseman, for the next 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And you just got to plug in the gaps in the middle infield. But we didn't. Santana, I mean, yeah, he was coming off an all-star year, but at the same time, like, you're always trying to find people that are better than who you have.
Sure.
And at the time, we went out and we got Naylor, and at the time, he was better than Santana.
Especially as fans, I think we're so obsessed with prospects and, like, the idea of what can this guy do versus, someone who's just established and consistent and, who's been doing it. I think sometimes I don't know, it's like the new flashy thing. I want to start in the AL Central really quick, though, because we want to talk about the Guardians a little bit, right? I think the Guardians have, how do I want to say this? Maybe one of the most realistic front offices in baseball, okay? I don't know that fans always love that, but I think it's kind of what's kept them in contention over the last decade or so, right? Like, despite being a smaller market team, I think they make those good decisions, and it's not always, again, it's not just tearing it down and completely rebuilding or whatever. If you're not having a great year, it's sort of like they do a pretty good job of retooling. And I think that's, I don't know. I mean, they're right there. They're just outside of a wild card spot, but it kind of feels like one of those years where they could let a couple guys go and maybe retool. I think Clase is gone. I think Emmanuel Clase is gone at the trade deadline. How do you feel about that?
See, at this point in the season, right, I don't think if you're going to trade anybody, I think it is Clase.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Cade Smith's been dealing with injuries all year.
Yeah.
So if he's going to be your closer, you have a closer that you don't know if he's going to be healthy or not.
Yeah.
He's been dealing with back spasms all year, and the times he gets shelled.
It kind of feels like if Clase goes, they're saying, "Hey, let's regroup and try this again next year." Right? The Tigers got hot. They outpaced this. Let's try this again next year. It's not a total rebuild. I don't see Stephen Kwan going anywhere. Do you?
I don't, but at the same time, if we're not going to extend him this year or next year, I want to trade him at some point to get value in return.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any hurry. I mean, he's here until what, 2027.
Yeah,
I don't think
but
there's any hurry to move him. I just don't, unless someone comes in and completely overwhelms the Guardians, which I don't know that I see that happening. I feel like you would have to have more pop for that.
Not even that. If Quan was hitting like he was last year, he was hitting near 400 at the break.
Okay.
I think that, a team that is right on the edge of making the playoffs could come out and be like, hey, we want Stephen Quan.
Well, especially because we saw how good he was in the playoffs last year. I mean, he
Yeah.
just was an on-base machine. It was unbelievable. So,
and talking about an on-base machine, Rocchio hit really, really well in the playoffs last year too. And I came into this year thinking, okay, he's finally figured it out. He's finally going to hit well. Comes in the season, he's hitting on the Mendoza line, and you're like, what the heck happened, dude? You just hit 500 in the postseason.
Well, John Kenzie Noel too. I mean, was a guy that seemed like he'd figured it out, and he's been non-existent.
Now Rocchio got sent back down, and now he's got called back up. I know he's been called up for a short amount of time, but I think the last 4 games he's been up, I think he's hitting over 500.
Okay.
So I mean, and
that's positive. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw they moved him to second base.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
They moved him to second base, which I like.
Okay.
Because I think Arias is natural shortstop. I think he's better at shortstop.
Okay.
And I think Rocchio's defense is good. It's kind of like Andres Jimenez. Rocchio's defense is good enough that you could put him at third, second, or short, and he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Like last year when Jose got hurt and Rocchio got called up, he played third base and he looked like a natural third baseman.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of that thing with Andres Jimenez where you put him at second base, he's going to be fine because he's good enough defensively.
That's fair. That's fair. I think if I had to pick 2 guys, just looking at the Guardians roster, if you really made me say, I mean, if you maybe made it, to make a decision and say, hey, 2 guys are going to be gone, who's it going to be? I would say Emmanuel Clase, maybe even Carlos Santana. I think somebody looking for an on-base guy, left-handed bat with a little bit of pop. I think Santana could be gone too.
I agree.
But then I also could see them bringing him right back next year in another 1-year deal. You know what I mean?
I could too, but at the same time, like I said, if I were to pick, I think it could be somebody like maybe Clase, and maybe somebody gives you something for Lane Thomas.
Okay.
Don't know if it's anything good, but I definitely think somebody could give you something for Lane Thomas just because of his upside.
Yeah, maybe.
But
yeah, it's possible. Yeah, Lane Thomas.
I also just think it's one of those things where the Guardians have been hurt this year, and nobody really wants to trade for somebody that's been hurt all year.
Right. And they've sort of been flying under the radar. They don't have the attention, that they had last year on a lot of these guys. I think that I don't know if it helps or hurts. I don't know which one it is. I'm not sure. But yeah, I got you. Let's look at the rest of the American League. What do the Yankees need? The Yankees they just traded for Ryan McMahon from Colorado, third base.
And they traded for Ahmed Rosario too.
Okay. I didn't see that actually. I didn't actually see that
happened today.
Okay. Well, listen, the Yankees were awful at third base before they got McMahon. I mean, McMahon's not great. He's hitting 217. He's got some pop, 16 home runs, 35 RBIs. He's been in a bad situation in Colorado. I mean, they were historically bad for a while. Then they got hot for a minute. They won a few games in a row. But McMahon, I guess, helps. I mean, if you take away Jazz Chisholm, who was kind of playing out of position there, the Yankees had a slash line at third base of 175, 255, 252 with a 507 OPS at third base. By far the worst in baseball. It's not close. I mean, third base has been an absolute black hole in New York. So I don't know if McMahon helps them. He doesn't hurt, but it's something. It's something that they have there. So I think they just didn't have anything at all coming from third base. So at least they've got McMahon now. It's not totally lost.
I just don't see. I mean, maybe they move Ahmed Rosario back out to the outfield, because the Guardians experimented with that. And now that Judge is hurt, maybe they got him to put him in center and move some of this over to right.
Yeah. Why not? I think, we talked about it before. Maybe you use Judge and primarily a DH role, just for the rest of the season until he gets kind of back going a little bit. I don't think you want to take any chances of not having him there in October, because the Yankees without Aaron Judge are.
It doesn't matter in October. He doesn't hit well. He hits like 220. So
it's true. Yeah, you're right.
You got to worry about Giancarlo Stanton in October. That's what you got to worry about. That dude hits like 600.
That's fair. Maybe this could be the year. Judge has been on fire all year. He's obviously seen the ball well. I don't know what changes in October other than.
It's the same with Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
It's I think it's kind of those things where it's like they're trying too hard to capture the big moment.
I was just going to ask you, is it maybe pushing to do a little bit too much in those moments, or is it? Yeah, it could be.
I
It
think
could
so,
be.
especially when you're playing like the Yankees like last year. Like Jose knew that when he had guys on, if
Yeah,
they were going to have a shot, they had to score.
yeah,
And then you had him, striking out, and then you had Naylor right behind him, who was
yep.
chasing everything and would strike out. And then it's
Goodness.
then you've got 2 outs with runner on first and second. Then you got to kind of try to force the action.
Yeah, his Naylor's chase rate in the playoffs was, woof, man. He was swinging at everything.
It was awful.
Didn't even have to be. I mean, didn't even have to. It wasn't even in like.
Had to throw the ball outside the strike zone. He was going to swing.
Seriously, you just had to throw the ball somewhere.
Yeah,
He was swinging at it. It was wild. I saw him swinging a pitcher got rid of a ball and tossed it into the dugout. I think I saw Naylor swinging at it a couple times.
And
so the Rangers were my pick to get back to the World Series. I don't know if you remember back in the preseason. We did a preseason episode. I picked the Rangers as kind of like a dark horse to get back to the World Series. I thought Jacob deGrom might have a good year if he stayed healthy. He's had a great year. He's 10-2 with a 2.28 ERA, 122 strikeouts, 118 in the third innings. He's pitched really, really well. They need some offensive pop. Like the Rangers have to find a consistent bat. They've got the best ERA in baseball by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah.
Pitching has been really, really good, but they can't hit. They can't find any offense at all coming from anywhere. Like they've been really, really inconsistent with the bats. I think they need a DH, and I think they need a first baseman. They need somebody with some pop at one, if not both of those positions. It's going to be hard to get both. But I don't know if they'll make any big moves, but they may look to add some platoon guys there, just somebody that can come off the bench and maybe make a start here and there and give them some pop at the DH spot or at first base. Otherwise, they're not going to go very far in the postseason. I don't think they'll be getting back to the World Series hitting the ball the way they've been hitting the ball. It gets a lot tougher in October. We can ask Aaron Judge about that.
Yeah.
It's not easy to hit the ball in October anyway. And they've been so bad that, trust me, I saw plenty of Braves teams go into October with all kinds of pitching, and it didn't help them even win a game in the first round. So I've seen it happen before. And then the Angels are a team that kind of intrigues me. I think the Angels have overachieved. I don't think they'll be true buyers at the deadline. I don't know how you feel about that. I think they're just sort of like, they seem like they're close enough to building something for the future. I don't think they're going to be sellers either. I think they stand pat through next year. They're kind of building a nice little outfield, They got Taylor Ward hitting 230 with 23 home runs, 76 RBIs. Looks like Joe Adell's starting to turn the corner a little bit. He's hitting 235 with 21 home runs, 60 RBIs. He's had a nice season. You got to have Trout healthy, obviously, for a season for that to work. They're going to have to completely rebolster the arm barn. Nate, that's for you. The arm barn, not the bullpen. And they need a starter. I think they need a big starter. We were just looking at some of the free agent starters. My cousin and I were the other day. And I just don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what kind of free agent crop we're looking at as far as starting pitching. I think a lot of the guys that are shown to be, on expiring contracts after this year, I don't think they're going to make it to actual free agency. I think a lot of those guys are going to get locked up before, the winter meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the Angels could be a team that could benefit from going all in on a starter. I don't know if it's an ace, if it's a number two. But, we talked about how tough it's just really tough to develop pitching, right? Like,
unless you're the Cleveland Guardians.
Unless you're the Cleveland Guardians. And then you develop these fastball slider guys out the wazoo. It seems like they just come out of the woodwork in Cleveland.
Matthew Boyd.
Someone needs to study this and figure out what they're doing.
Matthew Boyd talked about it. He said the biggest thing with Carl Willis is that he gets you to believe, like, whatever you're a lead in, he gets you to believe that stuff will play.
Okay.
And so, his was, fastball changeup.
Yeah.
And, Carl Willis harped on him that, look, like you've got elite fastball changeup combination. He's like, you gotta use it. And now he's having his career year in Chicago.
Yeah.
After having a good postseason. And it's like, it just kind of makes you think that, like, guys like Tanner Bybee who have regressed every year since his rookie season, it's kind of like what's going on? Like, is he not trusting his stuff? Is he not?
Yeah.
Or is it?
And that can happen sometimes when you're looking at your stuff. Like, why am I getting guys out? And sometimes it comes down. Greg Maddux had it was a quote from, he had just signed with the Braves, and he was talking about pitching. And basically, he was saying that if you can get whatever pitches, if you throw 2 pitches, 3, 5, whatever pitches you throw, however many pitches you throw, if you can get them to look the same coming out of your hand, you're way ahead, right? Like, it's pitch tunneling, right? Like, it's just making everything look the same. You don't want to change arm speeds. You don't want to change arm angles. if everything looks the same, then you're way, way, way ahead of the game. And I think that's part of it with these fastball slider
And
guys with the Guardians.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those things, kind of like it is with Jose, right? Like, however good Jose's playing, the team seems to, kind of follow.
Yeah.
Once we get Bieber back, is it going to be kind of like, okay, if Bieber returns to his 2020 Cy Young form, is the rest of the pitching staff going to be like, okay, like, hey, our stuff will play, let's make a run.
I think it sometimes is easier to pitch when you've got that one guy on the staff that is just he walks out there and he's a 1-2-3 inning waiting to happen, right? Like it's easier to pitch after that. That's your anchor, right? That's your ace. I mean,
I was just gonna say that for sure. It's like it's easy. It's easier when you know that every fifth day, your ace is going out there, and you want to give him, you want to put him in a position on that fifth day to go out there and get a win as well. So you're like, okay, well, I want to get a win.
Yeah.
The next guy's like, well, I want to get a win. And the next guy's like, well, I want to get a win. And then everybody's like, okay, well, let's just go out there and win every game.
Yeah, I mean, Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz used to talk about that a lot in the 90s, how it was so competitive, friendly competitive between the three of them.
Yeah.
That they wanted to go out and try to, not necessarily outdo each other in the sense that like I'm trying to be the best guy on this team. It's just they all wanted to go out and do each other, and they wanted to like one up each other every night. And I think that kind of attitude, it's contagious, first of all. And when you catch on, when you get 3 or 4 guys that are going pretty well and they're trying to outdo each other, I think that's huge for your pitching staff. If you've got the guys with the stuff to do it, even better, right? But I think it does. I think it starts with that mindset, and that's a good place to be when you've got a pretty decent pitching staff, and they're all going at some really loud helicopter flying over my house right now. I'm distracted by it, but yeah, I don't know. I think when you've got 2 or 3 guys on the staff that really want to go out there and one up each other, and they've got the stuff to do it, they've got the wherewithal, they've got the mental capacity, the mental makeup to go do it. We know that Bieber can do it. When he's healthy, he's one of the top, 3-4 starting pitchers in baseball.
And
I think guys fall in line for that.
We talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Come to postseason, you need 2 or 3 starters to get you through a postseason.
Absolutely.
The Guardians have not had that in years.
No. And I think the Tigers are in big trouble unless they go out and get a really, really frontline starting pitcher to be that number 2 guy behind Skubal. I think the Tigers are in trouble.
I do as well.
I'm not just saying that because I want the Guardians to win, but I really think the Tigers don't go anywhere in the playoffs the way they're built. Let's get over to the National League. There's some really weird teams. The Brewers. We talked about the Brewers having the best record in baseball. The Brewers don't have anything really at shortstop. They need a shortstop. I don't know who's looking to trade shortstops right now. I haven't really looked at like the list of guys that are out there and available. You want to say, look, well, it's the A's. Go get Jacob Wilson, right? But man, they're not going to do anything. They're going to Las Vegas, and they've got like a nice little core. I mean, they've got Lawrence Butler, Nick Kurtz, they got the big Amish now, right? Shea Langoliers, they've got Soderstrom, they've got Rooker. I mean, they've got a nice little offensive kind of core going on in Oakland. Well, not in Oakland, but in athletic Vegas, in Sacramento right now, right?
And once they go to Vegas, they're going to start spending money.
Yeah,
so it's
you would hope so.
There's only going to be time before they offer a player, $800 billion to come play for him in Las Vegas.
Seriously, all the gambling money, right?
Hey, we'll give you a full-on casino if you come sign with us. Okay.
Hey, why not?
I want to ask you this though. While we're talking about the Brewers,
I feel like Dylan Cease could be a fit there, by the way. But go ahead.
I agree. But do you think Jacob Mizrowski should have made the All-Star game? Yes or no?
Probably. I mean, I'm not as angry about it as some of the Phillies were, but probably not. I mean, I don't know. Trey Turner said some pretty. Listen, if I'm Jacob Mizrowski, every time I pitch against the Phillies, I'm tearing him up now. Like that, he gave me forever bulletin board material. Trey Turner did, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was a little extreme. What Turner did. No, probably not after 5 starts. I think that's a little soon. I mean, I get it. Baseball's all about like, what have you done for me lately? It's the hot name, the hot whatever.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't a large enough sample size. And people said Paul Skeens didn't have a large enough sample size last year when he made the All-Star team. And here we are with Mizrowski with like 7 less starts. Probably not. No. Nice story. Seems like a good kid. Been very, very good on the mound, but no, probably not.
Yeah, I think it's
at least Skeens had some of the Skeens had some steam coming in with all the hype. I mean, Mizrowski kind of came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, he did.
I don't know.
But I think it's one of those things too, where it's like if Mizrowski had been up all year, and been doing this all year, Or kind of like Skeens, even if he gets caught up, mid-June and doesn't, or or May and doesn't only
Yeah.
make 5 starts,
Yeah.
I think he makes it. Because Skeens made it last year with only, I think, 10 starts, 11.
It was like 12 starts, I think. Yeah.
So if he makes the same number of starts as Skeens, then I don't think people are as mad.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think it was tough that he had made 5 starts. He'd just kind of gotten hit hard in a recent start right before the All-Star game, and they named an All-Star. I don't know, man. I mean, probably not, but that's okay. He was there.
Like you said, the only way for him to really back that up, though, is just come out and just shove the rest of the year and just continue into next year. Because now, if he comes out next year and just gets absolutely shelled, because people have seen him and they've made adjustments, then it's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have made him an all-star. But if he comes out the rest of this year and the rest of next year and absolutely just shoves, you're like, okay, maybe he is an all-star.
Right. Well, he'll have some time to prove that.
Kinda like
maybe that could have been for the that could have been for the Midsummer Classic next year, right?
Maybe it's like Tariq Skubal. Like he was mediocre to begin his career. Then he had that one really, really good year, and people are like, okay, is he really?
Yeah.
Is he really is he really that good?
Yeah.
Or is he just having a good year? And then he backs it up with last year's campaign and then this year's campaign. You're like, okay, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, he looks about as good as they can get, man. I mean, I think it's weird to see people have said that he belongs nowhere but in New York in pinstripes. I think that's weird. I think that's kind of an insult to the rest of baseball. It's an insult to Skubal. Skubal. I don't know. Maybe he wants to stay in Detroit.
Paul Skeens is done in Pittsburgh in a couple of years anyway. So
yeah, for sure. Man, I don't know how bad I can feel for Paul Skeens. I mean, it's first of all, it's a game, right? These guys are playing a kid's game. I think people tie in way too much emotion to him taking losses at 1-0, 2-1, or whatever. He's got like a 1.96 ERA over his last 11 starts. I think he's 0-8. That's bad, but
here's the thing. I feel bad for him in the sense of that, he's pitching so well and they can't win.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
welcome to Jacob deGrom. I mean, hello. Like deGrom was in that club for a long time with the Mets.
But at least when deGrom played, though, he was still getting like decent run support.
Sometimes.
Like Paul Skeens is like average run support in Major League Baseball is 4.3. Paul Skeens, when he starts, gets 2.1.
It's really bad. What do you think that is? I mean, obviously, it's not that they don't like him. Do you think you just relax a little bit when you got a guy like that on the mound? Like, well, hey, we only have to score 1 or 2.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, he's out there. We only got to score 1 run, so they're not trying as hard. And then it's like, oh wait, well now we haven't scored a run, so now we got to hope that he doesn't give up a run.
And sometimes I think it's just quality of the opponent, right? Like your ace goes up against the other ace. It's harder to hit that guy, right? I mean, it's not like he's pitching against 5 starters and, journeyman guys and AAA. I mean, he's pitching against the other team's ace. So I think that plays into it as well. It happens, it just happens in baseball. Sometimes it's hard to hit the ball. Let's talk about the Dodgers. What do the Dodgers need? The Dodgers need pitching. For a team that has like 87 major league quality starting pitchers somewhere on their roster between, wherever, AAA and here. Boy, the Dodgers just don't seem to have any healthy pitching available, do they?
No.
I mean, wild. They could never keep Dustin May on the mound. Walker Buehler was never a guy that was healthy. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, he's not what he used to be. I mean, it was fun to see him in the All-Star game, make that, probably his last appearance. It's fun. He's had a great career. He's legendary, but I mean, he's not the ace he once was. He's not going to go out there in October and shut you down for 7 innings. I mean, he's another guy like Aaron Judge. He's had his troubles in October too. So I don't know. I mean, the Dodgers could be in a mess right now.
I don't know if you saw Blake Snell had 7 no-hit innings last night in a rehab start.
Okay.
So I mean,
that's not going to hurt.
They're getting Blake Snell back, but like you said, beginning of the year, I think I sent you that picture of their starting rotation. You're like, okay, this might be the best in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And then one by one, they just started dropping like flies, and you're like,
yeah,
well, can Shohei pitch left-handed?
Seriously, can he go that? Can he go twice? Can he go twice on the rotation? Is that okay?
Dude, I saw. Oh my gosh,
at least they're better than the Braves. I mean, the Braves have lost their rotation. They're 16 games under 500. So
yeah. Dude, I saw that switch pitcher that's in the Mariners organization, Durangelo's, whatever his name is. People are literally like saying that like, oh, if I was a manager, I would only carry 4 starters. Have him throw 1 game right-handed, 1 game left-handed, like back-to-back days, and be like, well, we only need 4 starters because he can go right-handed, left-handed, back-to-back days. And I'm like, you might have a point there. Like,
What would stop him? I mean, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad thought. Doesn't somebody have a switch fielder?
Yeah, I sent you that. The A's.
Yeah, that's right. Oakland. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. It's Oakland. That's right.
he's an
Yes.
infielder and outfielder. Outfielder, he throws left-handed. Infield, he throws right-handed.
That's wild. That's
It would be
wild.
even
Baseball is starting
crazier.
to get these like really weird niche things, man. That's weird.
It'd be even crazier if he was a switch hitter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Right. That'd be
I think
really
he hits
cool.
left-handed.
But only on the days when he's playing outfield.
Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine if he was a switch, like a switch fielder and a switch hitter? You'd be like,
who is that guy? Like that's
Yeah.
having 4 players. That's like having 3.5 players on your roster. That's wild.
could you imagine if Shohei was a switch hitter?
Oh my gosh, no. How can he be any better? How can he possibly be any better?
Switch pitcher.
Jeez, that's wild.
Well, it's like,
Yeah, no.
have you heard the story about how? Before we move on, have you heard the story about how Jose became a switch hitter?
No.
So there was, so he was obviously he was a switch hitter his whole major league career.
Yeah.
He showed up one day to like minor league spring training, and all of a sudden he was taking hacks from the left side of the plate, and the coach is like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a switch hitter now." And he's like,
who's gonna tell
"Why?"
him no?
He's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, because I hurt my hand in the offseason." He goes, "So I taught myself how to swing left-handed."
All
So
right.
ever since then, he's been a switch hitter.
That's okay.
Taught himself
All
how to
right.
hit switch hitter, and now he's one of the best players in baseball.
I mean, guys do weird things. I don't know if you ever heard the story about Ricky Henderson. He used to stand in front of the mirror with a lack of clothing on and take swings left-handed to try to figure out what his right-handed swing looked like. Man, guys do weird things. But hey, yeah, at least he
Billy Wagner.
Yeah.
I mean, we
That's
texted
pretty
about that. I mean, he was right-handed, broke his hand, taught himself to throw left hand, and pitched his way to the Hall of Fame.
Right. Throwing almost 100 miles an hour.
Like that is. I mean, well, it's like
I couldn't throw 100 miles an hour if I threw with both of my hands at the same time.
no. Well, it's like
That's
Tua
the thing.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
right-handed, or he's naturally he's right-handed. He writes
Mhm.
right-handed. He does everything else right-handed. But his dad didn't want to be the only lefty, so he taught him how to throw left-handed.
There you go. There you go.
It's crazy some of the stuff that happens in sports. Like
Yeah.
LeBron's left-handed, but idolized Michael Jordan, so he shoots a basketball right-handed.
Right. Pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
It makes me think of that newspaper article where they were talking about the ambidextrous pitcher, but they accidentally printed amphibious. So somewhere out there, there's a pitcher who lives on land and in water. That's pretty cool too. That always made me laugh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else in the National League? What do the Reds need? Is Suarez going back to the Reds? Eugenio Suarez, is he going back there?
I don't think so. I think the Reds need some bullpen help.
Yeah, well, everybody needs bullpen help. I mean, everybody does. Every single team in baseball. If you're going to go into October as a playoff contender, you got to do something to bolster the back end of the bullpen right now. Every team, right? Like no team has a set bullpen.
I think the Reds have a good enough starting rotation.
Mm-hmm.
You got Hunter Green, you got Andrew Abbott, who's having a career year.
Yeah.
You got a decent third starter, Nick Lodolo.
Yeah.
But bullpen, you have one elite guy, and that's Nick Martinez.
The Reds remind me of the Guardians when Francona was there. You know what I mean? Like
they are.
They sort of remind me of that same type of like it's like that kind of feel.
They essentially are.
Yeah. You could say Francona has a type. He has a.
Also, did you see the Hall of Fame hats from yesterday?
No.
The Reds and Guardians literally have the exact identical hat, just different color.
Oh wow!
Literally, the C's the exact same. The only thing is different is the Guardians is red, and the Guardians is like a navy blue, and the Reds is black.
What did Sabathia wear? I didn't see.
I'm not sure.
Is he going in as a Yankee or?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, on the field, they're wearing Hall of Fame hats this weekend to honor the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The Guardians and Reds is literally identical, just different color.
That's crazy. Tom Hamilton, by the way, another guy that was inducted. That's awesome.
I looked at it and I'm like, I was like, that has to be a mistake, right?
Like, who's who? Did they print that wrong?
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
That's funny. What do the Mets need? Bullpen, right? I think the Mets just need like relievers upon relievers,
and maybe a starter or two.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean,
I don't think the Mets are that strong. Like, it's weird because I know that they're leading the NL East, but I feel like the Phillies are the better team. I don't understand like what's holding the Phillies back? Like, why can't they get going? Why haven't they taken over that division yet?
I don't know, but I think the Phillies are more built for postseason,
which is fine. Isn't that what you'd rather have?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be a team that wins 85 to 90 games and then is really, really tough to beat in a 3 to 5 game series or 7 game series than, like some of those Braves teams in the, early 2000s. They'd win 108 games and get knocked out in the first round. So I guess I'd rather be built
Well,
like the Phillies.
it's like that Braves team that won it all a couple years ago. They
Yeah,
weren't over 500 until
Yeah.
like August or whatever, and then
yeah.
went on
They
to
didn't appear to be built
all.
for anything, and they just caught fire in
Yeah,
September. And
but
yeah,
it's
they
one of
never
those
looked
things where
back.
it's like you look at a team. You had Freddie Freeman, you had Austin Riley, you had Jorge Soler, a
Mhm.
bunch of guys that were tough outs at the plate.
Yeah,
And it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat a team, like you said, in a best of 5 or best of 7 series when you have 3, 4, 5 guys that are tough outs.
yeah.
Because you know that you can't make one mistake, or else, like Jorge Soler did, he hit a ball that's probably still traveling.
My goodness, that was that was an absolute missile that he hit in that World Series in Houston. No Acuna that year, by the way. That was the ACL year. Yeah,
it's just crazy too, right? Because like they won that without Acuna, and you think,
Yeah.
okay, if you add Acuna to that, like, well, I was talking with my dad about that, right? Like if you add Acuna, right? I don't think the Braves go out and trade for 2 outfielders at the deadline.
No, they probably don't ever even make the playoffs. And that's not to say that Acuna isn't a great player. It's just that Jock Peterson and I mean those guys, Jorge Soler, they gave the Braves such a shot in the arm that it just that's what they needed. They just needed this different. Jock Peterson has a whole different kind of mindset.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you need too. Is like you just need that. You just need that one player that just comes in and just lights a fire under the team and can get them hot. And it's
he made that whole clubhouse believe in themselves. You know what I mean? Like every single guy.
Like
that was cool.
I think that's what the Guardians need this year, right? Like if they're going to make a trade at the deadline, I don't think it has to be a guy that has elite numbers this year or is playing really, really well. I just think you need that clubhouse guy that is going to get everybody fired up and ready to run through a brick wall every single game like Terry Francona would.
So Nick Swisher. No, is it true that a lot of people didn't like Nick Swisher in the clubhouse when he was here? Have you heard that?
I don't know. I've heard the story. I'm not sure if it's true or not.
Like he just seems like he just seems like your bro, right? Like he's like such a positive guy, but I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I've heard some stuff in the years that have gone by now since he's been gone that rubbed a lot of guys the wrong way. Like, hey, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like that was a little too much at times. I don't know.
It's like Carlos Santana when he was with the Phillies. You remember that story?
Yes.
There's a rain delay, and he walked in the dugout. And there's people playing Fortnite, so he smashed the TV with a bat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, focus, right? Like, let's think about the game. I get it. I understand that. It's the whole Freddie Freeman Acuna thing. I mean, a lot of people think that Ronald Acuna Jr. is the reason that Freeman didn't really get, I guess the fair shake as far as like coming back to Atlanta. I mean, I think it was a problem with his well, I mean, he fired his agent. I mean, there is something to that story. Obviously, if he fires his own agent, I mean, it's not just, it's not a propaganda story put out there by the Braves, right? But I think there's some of that, like, they didn't really see eye to eye. And like Freddie Freeman was kind of like the old school, like, you got to think he came up with like, Brian McCann, and Brian McCann was always like I don't know. He was always the gatekeeper, right, at the plate. Like nobody could pimp a home run. Nobody could have any fun. McCann would get in your ear and let you know. I don't know. I think those days are done, kind of.
I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but the Braves are kind of like I would say like behind the Reds, the Braves are kind of like one of my favorite teams because when I was younger, I've told you this story. I went to a Braves spring training down in Florida.
Yeah.
And I got a Jason Hayward broken bat.
Yeah. Okay. Was that at the Wide World of Sports complex, the Disney complex, or no?
I'm not sure.
I think they were still there when you went, right?
I think so.
In Orlando? Okay.
Yeah. And I got a broken bat from a rookie Jason Hayward. My brother both got one.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things like, when he was on the Braves, anytime the Braves were on TV, I was watching it, and that's when, Chipper was there, Brian McCann was there, Evan Gaddis for a couple of years.
Yep.
That whole team,
Yeah. Evan Gaddis was a great story, by the way.
And like, when they made it in 2020 against the Astros, I was rooting for I wanted the Braves to win so badly.
Everybody
I thought about buying a Braves jersey just for the World Series.
Hey man, everybody did.
Yeah. I was rooting for him because it's just one of those things where it's like, ever since that moment, like it's kind of had a special place in my heart because I was 6 years old on the field and got a broken back from Jason Hayward when he was on the Braves. So it's kind of like I can't hate him. Like I can never hate him. Like
Hayward's one of those guys. He's a big what if, right? Like he had
all the potential in the world.
Yeah, and all the steam and all the momentum. I'm not sure what happened. He just developed this huge hole in the swing, and he just never really figured it out.
Well, and the injury bug.
Yeah. Well, he got hit in the face the one time too, and I think that didn't help him at all. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember his very first major league at bat, he hit an absolute nuke off
I
of
do.
Carlos Zambrano.
I do.
So much fun, man, on opening day. I remember coming home and watching that and being like, holy cow, like finally the Braves have one of these guys where you like hype them up and they come do something, right? Like this isn't like Ryan Langerhans, like, well, he could be the and no, I mean, this was like he actually came out and did it. And I mean, he put up some good numbers. He just, I don't know, like I said, he developed that whole, I mean, just he had a huge hole on the entire inside third of the plate. He couldn't touch the ball.
Yeah.
And then he stopped being able to hit away, and I don't know. He became a mess. He was still a good defensive player for a long time in the league, though. He stuck around for a long time.
I mean, now I say I have a broken bat from a World Series champion.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It'd be cool to meet him one day and get him to sign it.
Right.
But like I'd have to find whenever he's doing like a meet and greet or.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not going to go out of my way to Atlanta to get a broken bat signed by him.
Yeah, he's never been a guy that's been like really seriously in the spotlight or as far as like appearances or anything. He's always been kind of a quiet guy. And maybe that's some of what held him back a little bit. I mean, look at Mike Trout. I mean, Trout's the same way. Like Trout's never been comfortable being like the face of Major League Baseball. And I think for a while, that was like kind of the goal. They were trying to make Jason Hayward the face of Major League Baseball. Like he was the next big thing coming up. He was with the Braves. The Braves still had all of the steam from the Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz and Chipper Jones years, where they were America's team on TBS, right, for a long time. And I don't think Hayward was super comfortable being, kind of thrust into that role. And that's okay. Some guys just want to play baseball, I guess the Yankees weren't ever in the cards for him either. But, yeah, I don't know. I think he was a good player. He was still a great athlete.
Yeah, dude was...
he just, for some reason, he just lost his ability to see the ball and hit it for a really long time. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Dude, before we get out of here, I went to Lake County game.
Yeah.
The Guardians have this right fielder. His name's Alfonso Rosario.
Okay.
Dude, 6'2", 225 pounds, but his arms are like the size of like a tree trunk.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
He has like 16 homers and 15 stolen bases on the year, and he's hitting 270.
Speaking of arm, really quick, I wanted to bring it up. I want to talk to you. Did you see the throw from Acuna?
I did.
The other night against the Yankees from right field? Oh, my goodness gracious.
And did you hear what Boone said?
What? No. Which part?
The runner came back in the dugout and said that Acuna deked him.
Really?
Because he turned around like he was going off the wall, and then last second he turned around and just caught it, and then turned and just chucked it.
Okay. Well, that would explain why he wasn't hustling in the third, maybe.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. What I thought was funny is I don't know who the Yankees coach was, but they called up to see if they should replay, or ask for a replay because it was a close play at third, and it was just so funny to see the guy's face when he turned around. Like his face was just like he was in utter shock at what he had just seen. That happened to me once when I was playing. I didn't make the throw. I was rounding second. I thought I was easily going to go from first to third on a single to right. And man, Ben, there was a kid that he apparently played at UD, University of Dayton. He was a center fielder there. He was playing right field for the team I was playing against. And I got about maybe 5 or 6 steps past second base on the way to third, and the ball just came rocketing over. I didn't even try to get to third. I just stopped. I just stopped and turned around. Like, what happened? Yeah, I mean, it was so unrealistic. Like, sometimes you just get surprised, and you're like, okay, I should be standing on third right now, but instead, I mean, I got thrown out by a good 20 feet. It was ridiculous. But hey, sometimes that happens, Like you're expecting it to be like a normal guy out there, and he turns around flat-footed, and it's Ronald Acuna Jr., and he throws it 301 feet in the air.
I was playing center field one time, and I was one of those kids that if my throw was on point, you didn't want to run on me, but
okay,
you never knew where my throw was going to go. It could go 18 feet over the catcher's head, or it could be an absolute missile.
It could happen.
And so there was this kid that had like kind of mediocre speed, and before the game, I was like, you better not try to go second home on me on a single. He goes, oh, I'm gonna try. I was like, okay, so be it. So he hits a ball. It's kind of in the gap. I make a play on it. I come up firing, and I on the fly get it right to the catcher, and my brother was the catcher. My brother turns, and the kid just stops and kind of just points at me and walks back to the dugout.
I didn't even try to get to third when I got thrown out. I turned around to see who it was. I'm like, who is the inhuman in right field that just threw me out like that? Dude. I mean, not that I was a burner, but I mean, I should have easily made it to third on that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty amazing. But yeah, let's get out of here, man. It's been almost an hour. Man, it's good to be back. It's been a
Was.
couple of weeks. Like I said, family vacation, some things happened, whatever. We had logistical concerns. We're back. I don't know if we'll always go on Sunday. Well, I think we're going to try to shoot for weekends now, right? Maybe Saturday afternoons.
It'd probably work better for me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll try to shoot for like Saturday, maybe 4,
And then
4:30 on
once school
Saturdays from
starts,
now on. What's that?
once school starts, my work schedule will change a little bit, but
Gotcha. Yeah.
keep
Who
you guys
knows
updated.
what it's going to be like when school starts? I have no idea what that's going to be like. Yeah. I mean, school starts way too early. Just a couple weeks here. My kids go back. It seems too soon. The summer flew by. Baseball's flying by. We'll get to the trade deadline this week. We'll talk next week on the show, next weekend. Next Saturday, we'll go over all the trades. I'm sure there'll be some big ones. I always feel like the baseball trade deadline is a little bit disappointing, though, at the end of the day, don't you?
There's never really like any like big blockbuster trades because it's
That stuff happens in the winter meetings. That doesn't the blockbuster trades never happen now because it's like guys on expiring contracts who are going to be somewhere for like a 2-month thing, and
yeah,
they're probably just going to go back to their old team anyway. So you never see like a lot of. To me, I think the best part about the July 31st trade deadline is the prospects that change hands. I think it's fun to see.
Well, that's how
maybe what teams are going to do with their whatever package they bring in for whoever. I think that's fun.
That's how the Guardians got that right fielder. They got him in that Eli Morgan trade in the offseason.
Yeah. The Guardians have always been. I mean, back to when they were the Indians, they've always been really, really good at winning those trades, and always bringing like a package back that seems to give for the future. So we'll see if they can do that again this year. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Clase and Santana probably gone.
Yeah,
maybe Lane Thomas, like you said, probably not Stephen Kwan. Some people have talked about Shane Bieber. I don't see them getting rid of Bieber. I think that would be crazy.
Yeah, no.
Especially with him, signing a year contract with the Guardians. I don't think Bieber's going to go anywhere unless someone comes in and gives you like 5 of their top 15 prospects. I mean, then maybe you got to say yes, but
yeah.
I don't see it happening. Again, listen, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff coming up in the next few weeks. We've got an NFL preview show. We've got a college football preview show. All that stuff is almost in full. I mean, we're almost into August. Like, it's almost time for football to start. We got to talk about the Buckeyes. Yeah, it's almost time. We got to talk about the Buckeyes. We got to talk about, well, we don't have to talk about the Browns. We can talk about them, but it's not going to be pretty. We can talk about the Steelers. We can talk about the Bengals. The Bengals finally signed Shamar Stewart. I thought that was a nice development. That was the thing. I didn't know if they were going to sign him or not. I thought he was going to end up reclassified. I don't know what I thought he was going to do.
Hey, it's just crazy because like people are saying like, oh, he could have gone back to the draft, but that was only if he didn't sign an agent. But he'd already signed an agent because the agent was the one telling him not to sign the contract.
Right.
So it's like he couldn't practice with Texas A&M because he technically wasn't a college football player.
Yeah.
He couldn't practice with the Bengals because he technically wasn't on the Bengals, but he could still use the Bengals facilities. So
what a weird situation.
All right.
What a weird situation. Well, listen, we don't want to be in a weird situation, but like I said, we've got some football previews coming up. This is honestly my favorite time of the year coming up. October baseball, college football season. This is like my favorite. This is my wheelhouse, man. I love opening day in baseball, but then the baseball season is such a grind, man. It's a marathon. It takes forever. I really, really love the beginning of college football. I always say every year I'm going to watch like this many college football games this year. I'm not going to miss this game, this whatever. I always go into bowl season and I always say I'm going to watch a little bit of every single bowl game, and I always miss like the first 22. It happens. It was harder with the playoffs last year, right?
As long as you don't miss the Pop-Tart Bowl, though.
No, don't miss the Pop-Tart Bowl. That's must-see TV. Listen, they're starting to get big now. They've got like, the Pop-Tart Bowl's huge. I can't wait to see what they do. As long as it's not like the Pop-Tart with the missing skin or that looked like he was all blood. That was weird. But yeah, the Pop-Tart Bowl's fun. That's must-see TV. You got to watch that one. You got to watch the Gasparilla. I don't know. There's like a taxslayer.com bowl.
Yeah.
The salute to veterans. There's all kinds of weird
stuff. The GoDaddy Bowl or something.
The GoDaddy Bowl is probably that. We're probably not far from, I don't know what we're not far from. The AI Bowl. It'll just be not even real teams. It'll just be a fake team. I don't know. Who knows? AI announcers, AI players, AI not real officials, but that's fine. But yeah, we've got some fun stuff coming up. Like I said, football previews. We're gonna have some guests in. Are we still doing the NIL thing? What's going on with your buddy with the NIL episode? He still in play?
He's still trying to find a day that works for him. He said, "Well, let me know." He said he's
okay. Are weekends better for him now that we're going to go on weekends?
I can ask him.
Mm-hmm. Definitely ask him because I do want to do that show. That's
to
me. That's really near and dear to my heart. I want to see that one. I want to see that one come to fruition because I would love to talk to him. And we'll tell you more about him and who we're having on and why he's so pertinent to this topic as he's coming on. But that's going to be a fun one too.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, let me know on that. But until then, guys, just I don't know. I guess we appreciate you watching. Always remember to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the Facebook channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can always be notified when we're going to go live. Because as we struggle through these logistical issues, you never know when we're going to pop up on your screen and when we're going to be live. So just make sure you follow us. And I don't know. Just until then, comment. Let us know what you guys think about the trade deadline. If you think the Guardians are selling, buying, let us know if you think the Mets are garbage. To get one shot at the Mets since the Braves stink. But until then, we'll see you right now. We're shooting for next Saturday about 4:30. So that's what we're going to do. And again, like I said, thanks for watching the Sports Show with No Name. I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. Ben Bales is your co-host. And we will be back in a week or so. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
See you.